The Wolf of Snow Hollow is a 2020 American comedy horror mystery film written and directed by Jim Cummings. It is about a small Utah town that is seemingly terrorized by a werewolf. Cummings also stars along with Riki Lindhome, Chloe East, Jimmy Tatro, and Robert Forster. The film is dedicated to Forster, as it was the last of his career, completed shortly before his death. PJ Palfrey and his girlfriend Brianne vacation in Snow Hollow, Utah, where PJ gets into a verbal altercation with two hunters. At their rental house that night, Brianne is attacked. PJ discovers her mangled body and a paw print in the snow. John Marshall, a deputy sheriff struggling with alcoholism, is called to the murder scene. Brianne's genitalia and other parts are missing from her corpse. A snowboarding instructor is killed next, in a struggle in which her head and an arm are torn off. Wolf fur is on her body. John gets into a fight with an officer who leaks to the press that the killer could be a wolf. Under stress, John begins drinking again. While John and Officer Julia Robson drive to work the next morning, someone throws a beer bottle at her car. Paranoid tips from all over the community roll in. Townie Liz Fairchild has a strange encounter with a tall man at a diner and reports it to the police. John's father, Sheriff Hadley, is diagnosed with a heart murmur. John urges him to seek medical treatment and work from home. Hadley refuses to go for treatment. Later that night, Liz and her 3-year-old are killed. John combs through the town's records to determine if there is a connection between the victims and looks up werewolf lore. While investigating, they discover the tall man called Liz's workplace asking for her. A curfew is imposed, and an active watch for the creature begins. After another cardiac event, Hadley agrees to retire and seek treatment. At night, Jenna sneaks away to see her boyfriend. They are attacked in his SUV by the Wolfman, wounding Jenna. John answers a neighbor's 911 call and shoots at the creature, which escapes. It later kills a sheriff's deputy, stuffing his body in a trash can. When John yells at Jenna for breaking curfew, she shouts that his lack of care is the reason why she is going away to college on a gymnastics scholarship. After visiting her and Hadley in the hospital, John breaks into Jenna's boyfriend's house and attacks him. Meanwhile, Hadley dies from heart complications. Grieving for Hadley and frustrated with the case, John is banned from his support group meetings at Alcoholics Anonymous. The body of a man living in a camper outside town is found dead of a heroin overdose, and the police believe that he is the killer due to his height, his knife collection, the presence of a pet wolf dog, and the discovery of the body of a missing woman in his backyard. The coroner later insults John's intelligence and threatens to tell the press about his difficulties in finding the murderer. John deduces that the coroner was responsible for the vandalism of Robson's car and fires him. While John is out distributing evidence from the closed case back to its original owners, PJ contacts Robson, saying that his belongings contained a seam ripper that was not his. Deducing that the ripper is for taxidermy, Robson realizes that taxidermist Paul Carnery must be investigated, just as John stops by Paul's house. Paul seems eager for details of the case and asks John about his daughter, something he could not have known unless he was present when Jenna was attacked. John asks Paul to stand up to his actual height, revealing himself to be nearly 7 feet tall. He slams the door on John and runs. John breaks into the house, discovering a workstation containing Hannah's head. Paul stabs John in the stomach and lifts him off of the ground. Hearing sirens, he drops John, changes into a homemade wolf costume and flees into the woods. Wounded, John pursues Paul, who is shot and incapacitated by Robson. John then shoots Paul repeatedly in the head before collapsing. Robson later becomes Snow Hollow's new sheriff. She and John help Jenna move into her college dorm. John leaves Jenna condoms and his gun for protection. As he walks out of the dorm, he passes 2 students making sexual comments about the gymnasts in the dorm. He stops for a moment but then just walks away.